Welcome to the Audacity, a podcast where commitment means skincare, not a man. I'm the Sovereign Woman, here with Lisa.
Yes, thank you, Sovereign, for that introduction. Sovereign came up with that one, and we love it. We're going to have, I love that we're just doing these off the dome recently. So yeah, we have an awesome show for y'all today. I'm so excited. We have lots of good material for your tea time. We have the Epstein book, which I know has been a subject of much controversy. We're going to be talking about the Gen Z, like gender differences, where they asked about their priorities and stuff. And then we have a wall of shame, I think, for a senior citizen who tried to meet up with an AI robot in person, or with like an AI chatbot in person, sorry. And our main topic of discussion is going to be around the idea that women need to make themselves smaller in relationships or just around men in general. And I'm really excited to break that down. We're kind of going back to the basics on that one. And I love going back to the basics. So buckle in for that. And please buckle in for an exciting brand new segment that we have for y'all called Therapy or the Void, where we decide whether fictional characters can be rehabilitated via therapy or whether they should be sent into, the void, like we Sparta-kicked them into the void. Like, exactly. That's what I'm imagining for like the conceptual nature of the segment. And then, and then for crumpets, we're going to play a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill. Everybody loves little fun round of Fuck, Marry, Kill. So tune in for the After Dark, the Audacity After Dark in the Crumpet segment that is available both on YouTube as well as our Patreon. And with that, I'm going to kick it back over to Sovereign to shout out our new Patreon VIPs and tell y'all a little bit about our Patreon.
Yes, so we have two new VIP members, April and Alotis.
Woo! Welcome.
Patreon is our baby, so if you haven't already joined, please be sure to join the Patreon. You will get exclusive perks like member shoutouts, early ad-free episodes. You get to be a part of the VIP chat, exclusive access to our Crumpet segment where we get unhinged and have a little fun. You also get voting power with picking the segments that we do, some of them. And those are our nice little perks. So don't forget to join.
Yeah, I'm so excited for people to be able to vote on some of our new segments that we're introducing. The Therapy or the Void. We have some Would You Rather segments coming up that I'm really excited about. So we will give y'all voting power once we introduce the segments and y'all get to see how they really work. The next one you will be able to vote on. And then please don't forget about our mailbag. We love our mailbag questions, stories, dilemmas. We love diving into that. So if you have a mailbag question or inquiry, we are at mailbag@sirensound.co. Please mail those in, and we do like a little Ask Abby hour with that sometimes. So yeah, you have that to look forward to every other week, and then every other week we do like a fun B segment, whatever we kind of feel like, honestly. That'll be fun. And we are very bummed to announce that Gwen is not here with us today due to a family emergency. We are not quite sure when she's going to return. So please send positive vibes her way, send lots of love her way. But also she has asked for privacy during this time, and we're going to be respectful of that. So yes, we love you, Gwen. We will miss you.
We already miss her.
So yeah, let's get into our tea time. There's so many good ones. I feel like we should start with the Gen Z gender differences questionnaire. They did a poll, and a lot of news outlets have been reporting on this. As y'all know, we're not really like a news podcast. There's certain events that we just, don't cover. It's whether it's for our safety or whether it's because things move so quickly. And our podcast is published a full week after it's recorded. So as y'all can imagine, it just doesn't give us a lot of bandwidth to talk about like really hot events that are like still in development.
Current,
Yeah. So we're usually a little bit late on things. We try to keep our topics evergreen. So just keep that in mind when you're wondering, why aren't they talking about this or that for tea time? That's just us letting y'all in behind the scenes. It's just how the sausage is made. It just takes too long. So but certain things that are going to be affecting our, like how we're living, like our society for years to come is things like this poll where they asked Gen Z, what is important to your personal definition of success? And it was just funny looking at this chart because if you could invert something just so perfectly, it just shows how far men and women have sort of drifted apart in the recent years. Because while I will say that this poll is a little bit skewed because they're asking men who voted for Trump versus women who voted for Harris. So obviously there's differences there. So the differences are a little bit exaggerated. But the top personal definition of success for men was having children.
Sorry.
No, I'm laughing too because I'm like, since when can y'all have children? Like
exactly.
What? Like that's even up to you is interesting. And the top personal definition of success for women who voted for Kamala Harris was having a fulfilling job or career. And I love that for us. I really, really love that for us. And, the next thing was having money to do the things you want, having emotional stability, using talents and resources to help others, financial independence, having no debt, owning your own home, making family/community proud, being grounded spiritually, being able to retire early. And just 6% of women said that being married or having children is important to their personal definition of success.
I love that so much.
That is
real bad. I love it real bad.
I seriously, I'm standing
yes.
and applauding. Like metaphorically, I can't actually stand up, but
isn't it funny that the more women move away from traditional roles, now the men care so much about
all of a sudden
having babies and the traditional wife and
getting married, owning a home.
Yeah, getting married. Like more and more women are like, I don't care if I get married or not. And the men are like, why don't the women want to get married anymore? Really? Now y'all care?
Yeah, because I'm old enough to remember the wedding cake toppers where the wife is like dragging the man and like the ball and chain jokes and all that. Women have freed you from the shackles.
Yes.
And
what's the problem?
Here you are. Why are you crying? You have been freed from the shackles of marriage, family, children, all of those things. And now it's important to you. Like, yeah, that's a really good point.
Doesn't make any sense.
It makes absolutely no sense. Now, what was on the bottom of the men's list? Having emotional stability. And if that just doesn't explain every fucking thing, like if that just doesn't absolutely tie a bow around it so perfectly. Yep.
But the women know that already. We've been trying to tell them that for decades or however long. Like emotional stability, emotional intelligence, be a better person, actually have empathy, whatever. And now they're flat out saying it out loud. That's the least of my problems. I don't care anything about that. Really? Okay. Now you see why women are like, I'm good. I'd rather be a high-powered, career-driven woman now than being at home folding socks forever. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, and it just shows the fact that they still don't get it. It just shows it so much. It's like, no, I want to have kids, but being emotionally stable is not really a priority. What do you think having kids fucking requires? Like, there's like one thing you have to have.
99% of you would have that to have kids. Like, are you kidding me? Do you plan on being a shitty parent or like what? Because that's exactly what that's going to mean.
I feel like it still points to me that they expect the women to do all of that labor, right? They want to have the kids, but it's the same way a kid wants to get a puppy.
Absolutely.
They're like, I want the kids, but I want you to do that part. I want you to raise them and I want you to do everything for them because I still plan on, they definitely still think that having financial independence is important, fulfilling job career is important. They think having money to do things you want is important. But all of these things, using talents and resources to help others, making family and community proud, having emotional stability, none of those things are important to them. So I don't know. It's just interesting. It's an interesting interesting chart. And sorry, go ahead, Sovereign, before
No,
we
no, no.
move on.
No, I was just going to say, so if you are a woman who has been confused as to why this disconnect is the way it is, men are telling you the things that you want them to cherish, they don't cherish them, those things. The things that you want them to find important, they don't find important. This is why there's a disconnect. This is why we can't seem to like fit together like a hand in glove, like maybe we should. This is why. So I hope this is clear. You know, they don't value many of the same things as a whole, as a group. Of course, we know there are men that do, but if you're having this problem, it is because you're probably dealing with someone that does not put emotional intelligence or stability at the top of their list. Because like, really?
It's just...
That should be number two at the... Number one, number two, it should not be at the bottom. Are you kidding me?
How are you moving through life? Like, I just don't understand.
On autopilot.
Yeah. Well, and it's like men only get upset about these things when women stop doing them.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden, you know, and women have been just more and more refusing to carry the unpaid labor for society. And now men are like, wait, well, who's going to have all the babies? I don't know. You figure it out. Like women have been doing
the
that
robots.
for free. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, weren't they saying that they didn't need
solved.
our wombs anymore because they got
yeah.
the robot wombs? Yeah. So now they can leave us the fuck alone.
They'll
I'm good.
be fine. They'll be fine. That's right. All right. Well, I guess thank you and sorry to the robots ahead of time. That is really horrible. Sorry, y'all.
I know, right?
Yes. I don't know, Sovereign, if you got a chance to go through the Epstein book, the Epstein birthday book at all.
I don't even know if I want to, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm curious. But
there was a lot of really disturbing stuff in there. And if you just had any doubt in your mind that this man was the absolute like worst case scenario of what people were saying that he was, this book kind of leaves that beyond the shadow of a doubt. They are flat out talking about criminal activity in there. They're talking about selling women or selling children, I should say, selling underage girls to each other for certain amounts of money. There was really weird photos of young girls posing in like suggestive ways and like playing the piano. The piano was very much a recurring theme throughout. There was something to do with like a piano. Yes, if you've ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut, it definitely had that whole kind of theme to it, like a sex party kind of theme to it. There was like some very disturbing drawings that looked like they could have been done by children, but also look like they could have been drawn by adults trying to look like it was drawn by children. Everything is written in this weird code that is very clear what they're referring to and what they're talking about, but there's this kind of layer of an inside circle to it.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just very crazy the fact that people are alleging or that the White House is alleging that Trump's letter was planted in there. And it's like, when? How many years ago was it planted in there? He's in there multiple times. He appears lots of, there's a section dedicated to him. So the book is broken up into all of these weird and creepy parts. There's a whole section just named children.
Are you serious?
Whole section of the book just named children. And mind you, I don't know if he had kids of his own. Let me look that up, actually.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I
Let's
got the
see.
vibe that he had any children.
No, me neither. Nope. No children that we know of.
But I would say thank goodness, but I guess it didn't really matter.
Didn't really stop him.
He still found ways to victimize other people's children.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yes. And it's just crazy, like living in a time where we have the president and the White House basically denying this or trying to minimize it, trying to distract from it. I don't know. It's just really wild. And everything is just out in the open and we're not allowed to talk about it. I don't know. It's just been a super weird couple of weeks. Let's just say that. And it's been a super weird year, overall. But it just seems like things are kind of ramping up and there's just so many different directions that everything could go. And I'm glad that the Epstein story is like not really going away, but it does seem like there's other things that are just happening in the chaos of it all that's just like taking away attention from it regardless. But I'm like, we have basically hard proof in hand that Donald Trump, our president, was involved with all of this and nobody is doing anything. because there's bigger fish to fry somehow. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It feels like we are very cooked.
I'm kind of glad that we're in a time where it's not enough, but there's more people that are kind of getting over celebrity worship. I think the more money they get, the more bored they get, and they get into shit like this, like getting on a plane and going to an island where they're like exploiting children. Like you don't have anything else better to do. I'm not saying no names.
No.
You know what I mean? They just get bored and then they just want to do. So yeah, I'm glad that more people are starting to see like celebrities are like nothing to worship or to look up to. And hopefully one day it just dies.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Okay, and then for our last little cup of tea is this, we like to call this the wall of shame. And so, yeah, Sovereign, why don't you fill us in on why we're putting this old man on the wall of shame?
So there was a senior citizen that died while trying to meet a Meta AI chatbot by the name of Big Sis Billy. First of all, the name is diabolical. Big Sis Billy? Why would you...
Where are they finding these chatbots?
I know.
Like, was this a porn chatbot? Like,
so how old was he? What, 76?
Yeah, 76.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was married and he was going to cheat.
It was a Meta bot. He was found a bot. It on Meta.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a bot.
Like
and he
Facebook.
thought he was going to meet this person and it was a bot. And that's even worse than AI. You know how some guys become companions with AI, actual like robot?
Oh, yeah.
This is worse. This is like not even a physical robot or a physical sex bot or whatever. It's just a bot on the computer. So he was going to cheat on his wife and he ended up dying. How did he die again?
He fell. Trying to rush to the train. He fell in a parking lot while rushing to catch a train. No, I mean, I feel like we can laugh.
I guess his wife said something along the lines of she was trying to figure out where he was going and he was supposed to be going to meet friends or something like that. And he lied and made, they'll make up stuff to get out the house. And the reason why this is funny is because first they're trying to say he was mentally impaired. So for anybody who get on here and say, yeah, but I read that article and they said he was mentally or cognitively impaired. Listen, that man knew exactly what he was doing. He knew enough to cheat. He knew enough to lie to his wife to get out of the house, whole thing. To plan it, to go cheat on his wife. So I'm not buying that anyway.
He had enough diabolical brain matter left to do all that.
Exactly. And imagine being the wife. How embarrassing is that? I feel bad for her in that regard. Like, not only was he trying to cheat on you, he was trying to cheat on you with a bot, a chat bot that he didn't even realize wasn't real. That's another thing, and on a more serious note, a lot of senior citizens or like the elderly are going to get bamboozled and played by AI. That's one of the downsides because they don't know. A lot of times they can't even look at a video and tell that it's AI. They don't even know.
Girl,
sometimes we can barely tell.
She said, my address is 123 Main Street, apartment 404 NYC, and the door code is Billy for you. Should I expect a kiss when you arrive? 123 Main Street, apartment 404.
123 Main Street is literally the
go-to, like,
it is the
fake address, like the quintessential fake
that's
address.
The word I'm looking for. Yes. And on movies, TV shows, anywhere at 123 Main Street. If you're filling out an application and they're like, this is an example of how you fill it out, they're going to put 123
Main Street. I think that's where the bot got it from. But it's like, okay, but there is kind of a bigger issue at hand because this was a Kylie Jenner. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner inspired bot. And so it's like kind of like celebrities need to be more careful with these things because they're going to start getting sued. Like, I don't know how that works, but like that's going to backfire because it's like you're selling your likeness and your like personality to Meta to make this bot. And it's like, well, who's responsible for what the bot does? Like
Meta? I wouldn't want it. Because what if somebody made...
I hope she read that fucking agreement. I hope she read all the legal shit in that because... Yeah,
I don't see them being held responsible. Well, of course, if it came down to it, they're going to try to pass the buck to her, obviously. Yeah. But you could always claim that you didn't know. Remember when the episode of Desperate Housewives and Brie Vandekamp when old dude died in the hotel and they searched his house and he had that like fake replica of her with her pearls and her hair with the flips and this fake thing that looked like Brie Vandekamp. There are men out there doing that. You know, could you be sued for that? Like, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I wouldn't want to be sued.
That's a good
You know what
point.
I mean? I wouldn't want to be sued for some guy's fantasy that I have no idea about. So I guess if they're selling it on purpose, then maybe. But if you have no idea that someone's like using that, which don't get me wrong, I could see the Kardashians doing that on purpose. Like, oh, let's sell robots that look just like me. I could see them doing that's something that they would do.
Because they know they'd make money. So
yeah. I don't know. I don't feel bad for this man. I don't.
No, your survival skills need to be better than that if you're going to make it. I don't know how he made it to his big age with that kind of
I know, that's another
navigational
thing. You made it to almost
his
80.
wife and children, it said his wife and children were pleading for him to stay home. And he flew all the way out from Thailand, right?
Oh, wait, he flew?
He flew, I'm telling you.
Stop. Yes. I missed that part. Oh, wow.
He flew. Yeah, so he's... Wow. He was in Thailand.
That man
and his
exactly
wife knew. Well, like, what was he expect? I just don't understand what he was expecting to find. But
he was expecting this thing to be a person that was going to, because they don't tell him what other conversations that was being had that we don't know about.
Yeah, the bot did say, "I'm real." And I'm waiting for you to like come meet me or something like that. But it's like, why would you believe that?
Right. That's what
oh my God. And
zero sympathy. I have zero sympathy for this man. I feel bad for his family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he was a problem. I'm pretty sure
he was getting into this kind of stuff all the time. And there's your Darwin Award, buddy.
You know,
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for our tea time. That was a hot tea time. And we will be right back after this break to talk about, do women ever get to be the main character in their own life or relationship or what? Let's get down to the bottom of that when we return. All right, welcome back. And we are here to talk about the concept of women having to make themselves smaller in relationships and just kind of giving up that main character spot to the man, for lack of a better term. I'm excited to figure out the title for this episode because it's like kind of a big concept. It's also a very basic concept. It's like one of the building blocks of the patriarchy, right? Is this kind of small thing that we're about to really dive into. And just so y'all know, we're kind of just scratching the surface. There's like a million iterations of this, and we do plan to talk about a lot of them. But this is just that initial, just why does it feel like women are not allowed to take up space in relationships, elsewhere, even in their own family structure? It's like, mom always comes last, or the daughters are always taught to pick up after everybody, or just being a woman in any context. It seems like you're not supposed to be the main character. That's just not for you. So let's get into that. We had some notes. Let's go through some examples of making yourself smaller in case people are wondering. So some examples are downplaying achievements. How many women are like, oh, it's no big deal. And even society will downplay your achievements for you, right? We talked about this in one of the episodes. Like a woman will be a whole doctor, a whole hiker, mountain climber, whatever. But as soon as she has a kid, she's a mom.
Yeah.
And that's
it.
Yeah. And that's her biggest achievement or whatever.
You're a doctor, but can you cook? But can you clean a house? But can you be submissive to a man? You're just going to bypass the fact that she's a whole doctor or whatever, That's how they do it. When you hear people say stuff like that, they're trying to downplay your achievements. So then some women fall into that and they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I am just this or just that instead of doctor. So I think that's one of the ways women kind of shrink themselves in that way because other people around them are trying to make them think it's not that important or your achievement isn't that big or
Yeah. And we genuinely, I mean, we do kind of orient ourselves based on our peers. Like it takes it, even for the people that can see this stuff very clearly, women that are neurodivergent or whatever, you just have been able to see it, just been able to see the matrix for whatever reason, like even because of your life experiences or whatever. There's still like gaslighting. You still ask yourself, like, wait, am I really seeing this? Because people are so confident about this stuff. They're so fully bought in, because even other women will tell you, well, yeah, you have this career and everything, but why don't you want kids? That's not going to keep you warm at night. Having a career, having all this money, you still need a man. Why do I need a man? People don't talk like that to men. Oh, you need a woman, unless it's when they're talking about extra labor. It's never, you need a woman to validate you. No. You need a woman because you can't take care of yourself. But women, it's like you can take care of yourself to the point of becoming a fucking doctor, to the point of having all these other accomplishments. And people will still look at you and be like, but where's your man though?
Exactly.
For what? What do I need a man for? Is he going to cook, clean, take care of the kid? No. Okay. Do I look like I can't do that for myself? No. Okay. So what do I need a man for? And it's like, well, you need a man to validate you. No. Why is that?
That notion has always made me vomit.
Yes.
Validate me? My validation is in the fact that I was born. Like I'm a living, breathing, thinking, feeling person.
In my existence. I think therefore I am.
Yes. That is all the validation I need, is that I fucking exist. What Seriously. I choose to do with my life at that point is my choice. That's my validation.
100%. There's endless examples, but, there's the being agreeable, carrying all of the emotional labor, or not showing your emotions. All of those kind of go in hand for me. So that's another example. If you feel like, what was that first one? Being agreeable. I think a lot of women they don't actually challenge their partner on a lot of things. They're like, yeah, well, he just thinks that, we just let him think that. Well, that's interesting. We just don't have the same kind of pressure on men as we do on women to be agreeable. It's like women are always looked to keep the peace, Well, why are you nagging him about that? Why are you bothering him about that? I don't know.
And however you feel and whatever you're going through should be swept under the rug. Yes. And sometimes you may feel like you need to do that to keep the peace. So, a lot of times women will just say, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And then you blow up later because you've been holding all of that in, and then you are seen as the crazy person. But really it was because you were choosing to be agreeable at a time when you probably shouldn't have. You probably should have spoke up.
Mm-hmm. And some women know that even like speaking up is just going to make things worse. Like that's the other, the other part of this too, is that there is a lot of pressure. Women have to navigate this because sometimes you don't have a choice. I was going to say, it's like very easy for us to say like, well, stand up, women, empower yourself, be loud, have a voice. And it's like, yeah, okay, until it costs you a promotion, until it costs you an internship, until it costs you, being part of the in-group and advancing through the workplace that way, until it costs you your marriage or your financial stability or whatever. Women always hit a point where people are like, you know what? I'm done. You're doing too much. I'm done with you. I'm not dealing with all this.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lose-lose situation when we tell women, well, just don't be overly apologetic. Well, just don't hide your true emotions. Okay, well, then you're going to be labeled emotional or angry or whatever. All of those things follow you because we have this societal belief, that women are just responsible. Like we're just responsible for everything. And it prevents us from being the main character because it's like the side character's job to like move things out of the way, to clear the way for the main character. And I just feel like a lot of women subconsciously have this setup in mind when they go into relationships. Do you think a lot of men would even be able to handle it if women didn't do that?
No.
Exactly.
We're already programmed in this way long before we even get into our first relationship. Like the media, the songs we listen to, the TV shows, the movies we watch, sets up this sort of portrait or this like storyline, this script on
script.
The way you're supposed to look, the way you're supposed to act. This is how women in love look. This is how you're supposed to do things. So even long before you even get in your first relationship, you're already programmed. A lot of times you just don't know it because it's subconscious for most women. But, if you're paying attention, especially now that we're like pointing this stuff out, you may not have thought that you were doing this. Another thing, women will like give up hobbies. Or give up friends. They will, for the sake of the marriage, for the sake of my husband. Well, I'm almost done with law school, but I'm going to give up law school for my husband. Or in the case of the ballet farm girl, what was it
ballerina
called?
farm?
Ballerina farm. Yeah, she was like almost done with Juilliard. Do y'all know how hard it is to get in Juilliard?
I'll never get over that.
He wouldn't even, me either. He wouldn't even let her finish school, and she dropped out like right before she was, I guess, gonna get done or whatever, 6 months before or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And she felt like it was her duty because my husband told me to just throw away everything I worked for, all of my goals and dreams, have a bunch of kids and work on a farm and literally milk cows for the rest of your life. I will never get over that. Like that will always haunt me in my sleep because what? This beautiful woman, and I already just love ballerinas. Like I love ballerinas. Ballet is crazy work, crazy discipline, crazy strength. It takes so much. And women just have all of these talents and all of these gifts and they just throw it away like it's nothing. And I'm just like, and the reason why it's so easy for women to do that, especially when you're religious, because that's what you've been programmed to do. You are programmed to make yourself small for the approval or validation of a man. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And I really wish that we would stop doing this. I swear.
Yeah. And I really want to dedicate some time to discussing that. How do we reframe our thinking around that? Once we kind of go over the examples in the media, like I definitely want to talk about that because that we do need to find a way forward out of that. And I also think this kind of ties back to those Gen Z poll results. I do think that women are already starting to see themselves differently. They're like, I don't need marriage or children to like validate me. Those things are not important. Because I like that question that they were asking. What is important to you in terms of a personal success? And women, only 6% of women that voted for Harris said that having children and being married is important to their personal definition of success. So we are already reframing this. I want us to be so conscious of all the other like insidious little ways. We talk about being overly apologetic when you did nothing. Yeah. That's something a lot of women have caught on and have started talking about amongst themselves. Like, why am I always saying sorry? Why am I always like, oh, I'm sorry, I was in your way. I'm sorry, you misunderstood me. I'm sorry, I emailed this to you last week, but you didn't see it. So now I have to resend it. I'm sorry, that's my bad. It's like, no, none of that is your fault. Thinking that being low maintenance is like a good value for women to have, like being like, oh, no, I'm fine. Like, don't do anything for me. Like, no big fanfare, like whatever. Changing your appearance and giving up your career goals and dreams. Like we kind of talked about that one already. Like they choose it for the man's punk ass goals. And it's so true. Like men usually have no idea what they're doing and they just expect you to come along on these crazy journeys with them. And the worst part of that is statistically, I'm not speaking for all men, I'm not speaking for all women, whatever. But statistically, if a man makes you go on some like crazy wild goose chase with him and God forbid it works out for him, what's he going to do, Sovereign? What's he going to do? He makes you move to another country for his acting career, and then he gets a big role, and you're so proud of him. You're so excited. You gave up your dreams. You moved to a whole different country. You probably just had his baby. And what does he do?
Trade you in for another woman. Almost every fucking
Tale
time.
as old as time. Tale as old as time. So all of this, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You minimize yourself. And then the man is like, well, yeah, you ain't shit to me. Like, it's almost like, right? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes. You literally minimize yourself to the point that the man don't even want you anymore. That is, and make no mistake, I'm not trying to say that they're not going to do this to you anyway, because they probably will.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't minimize yourself, they'll try to minimize you. That's absolutely for sure.
So, it's a lose-lose. Your best bet is to be who you are, and hopefully that attracts somebody who actually likes you for who you are. That's the only chance you got. That's the only chance in hell you got. I hate to say it like that.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we give the dating advice that we do give. The dating advice we give is basically, if anything, it's how to avoid doing this. It's how to actually take up space in the relationship, because most men will just not be able to handle that. They don't like a woman that takes up space. And when you don't minimize yourself, they try to minimize you. And when they can't, then they usually will dump you, or they'll be like, you know, this isn't fun for me anymore.
Which is a win for you, the woman, because you want to get rid of people like that. You don't want them in your life anyway. Yeah.
Bullet dodged. Absolutely. And it's like, well, why do women do this? And we have the reasons, right? Do you want to talk about the media stuff? Like, I think that was your piece that you put in there.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, the TV shows and the movies unconsciously, but I would say it's programming. So they know what they're doing. But for us, it's unconscious, but it's teaching us what a woman in love is supposed to look like. So a few different tropes when you're watching a movie or a TV show. They romanticize jealous and controlling behavior. So if a man is jealous, or if he's getting control, he's becoming controlling, whatever. A lot of women think that means he really likes me, or he really loves me so much that he doesn't want to lose me. The thought of another man looking at me just makes him so angry because he just loves me so much. And it's like, no. But they want to prime your mind for the nature of some men, because a lot of men become jealous and controlling, and they know that. So this is one of the number one ways that they program you to accepting this behavior. So you make yourself docile and small so that man can control you if that's what he chooses to do. Another one is the supportive girlfriend trope. So it goes to giving up things that matter to you.
They glamorize. Yeah, that's a real one. She
real.
held you down.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly. The ride or die. Like, she's the one who supported me through everything. And typically the guy will usually take off. It
reminds me of that like 50 Cent song, that 21 Questions 21 song. Questions,
yeah. That was making its rounds around social media again recently, even though that song came out in the early 2000s. But when you listen to it as an adult woman, it hit different. You're like, wait, what? Yes. Right? Because we were listening to that song at like 16, 17 years old or whatever, for me at least. It's like, now, hell no, I wouldn't do all of that. No. But back then it was cute when you're young.
Yes.
And you think, oh, hell yeah, I'm a ride for my man. And they had Megan Good in the video. And I think she went to visit him in prison or jail or whatever it was. I can't remember. But yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And look at where that landed her.
I'm so disappointed.
You know what? She hasn't changed a bit. And I am so sad about that. Yeah.
And I'm a Megan fan for sure. Megan Good. And it's like, girl,
we all were.
Why?
We all rooted for you.
We were rooting for you.
Oh.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Like, literally.
It's like some men just need to be allowed to experience the consequences of their own actions. Like, why is there always a fucking pick-me
There's always a woman that
swoops in and wants to like rehabilitate him or like be the one? And it's like, oh my God, you're never going to be the one.
They're not. Here's the thing. You're getting in the way of that man's karma.
I'm telling you.
If you meet a man and he's a bum and a loser and you feel like I need to help him, first of all, I can assure you that he's a bum and a loser by his own hand. I promise you he's probably burned many bridges. He's hurt people. He's probably done. And you're like, oh, well, I want to save him. Why? You're getting in the way of his karma. And then he's going to repay you by either being controlling, abusive, or he's going to flat out leave you for another woman. Like, either way, you're going to pay the ultimate price. So stop being this supportive girlfriend to a man that don't deserve it. Like, I'm sorry. And most of them don't deserve it. If you're wondering, how do I know what man deserves it? A man who deserves it is a guy who already has his shit together. And he's looking to just have a supplement to his life, not something that makes him, something that's building him up. You are like, you complement each other. If he's anything less than that and you have to like get a car for him in your name or let him drive your car while you go to work and all that other dumb, no, he's not. That's not, no.
And like shit happens,
Don't be that supportive.
throughout your life, like shit happens, but you always want to evaluate. You always want to be like, am I investing in something? Because a lot of times women are investing in absolutely nothing. And what is that proverb? That's like, the feeling sorry for a man is always the beginning of a woman's misfortune. So like literally don't do it, because men created this world for them to succeed in. It's actually not that hard for a man to succeed in the world.
And if they're not the training wheels that they were given and they still haven't learned, they still haven't figured it out, it is not your place
to will not
figure it out for him. Yes.
You will not.
You meet a grown man who doesn't even have the bare necessities, and you think somehow all you can ever do at that point is enable this man. Mm-hmm. You can't help him be a better person. No. A grown man who doesn't have any furniture in his house. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, no, that is.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't even have the
and they're
basic
usually
necessities.
Proud of it. They're like, women hate that we can live like this.
They have one of those They have one of those lawn chairs that fold up when you go out to a sporting event and a TV on the floor. Like, and you're like, oh, I can help him. I can spruce this place up. No, you can't. No. You can. No, I take it back. You can. You're going to be doing it for nothing. And he's going to use everything that you did for him to impress the next woman. So absolutely not. But that supportive girlfriend trope is very big. And I hope that you guys can start seeing this when you see movies. You're going to see a lot of these tropes pushed. Another one was, women who change their hair, their wardrobe, they go to the gym to get the guy.
Yes.
So this is setting this narrative that you have to be more appealing to the male gaze. You can't be who you are. You got to change your hair color, change your eye color, do all these weird things to get the guy, as if the guy is the prize. Absolutely not. Now, if you're going to do those things for yourself, and it makes you feel good and it has nothing to do with the man, that's perfectly fine. I suggest that. If whatever you need to do to make you feel beautiful and to motivate you to go out there and just take on the world, fine. But if you're doing it to get the guy, you're already at a deficit, because a man is not a prize to you unless he's a well-to-do, like put together, emotionally mature, loving, faithful, loyal man. If he's none of those things, then he's not a prize. So no.
Do you think that a lot of men too, they're more like interested in the aesthetic while it serves them? If all of their buddies think big titty goth girlfriends are cool, you know what I mean? But
they're going to go get one.
They're going to go get one, and then they're going to nag her, because first of all, they're threatened by that. They're like, they don't want other men infringing on their territory. But also, as you get older and stuff like that, men expect you to change to meet their needs, right? So they're like, well, now I have a corporate job, so you can't be the big titty goth girlfriend, because then I can't bring you.
You can't take her.
To the company events, right?
Stuff, yeah.
Yes. And so they will, this was a whole story on TikTok, and the woman is now divorcing her husband. Thank God, one of the few, one of the few that actually like listened to everybody saying like, this is a huge red flag and like whatever, and like went through with it. Love that for her. But she was like, yeah, I had this style, and he basically kind of discouraged me from it. Was like, you look better without makeup, you look better natural, etc. And then we're sitting around watching this show, and we see like this goth aesthetic girl, and he's like, oh, I think that's so hot. And she's like, what the fuck? Are you joking right now? Like, yeah, men do this. They really do.
What a
and then
punch that is.
And then when they decide they want the aesthetic back, that's basically how they're gonna reintroduce it, And he wanted, it seems to me like he wanted her to jump up and be like, oh, let me put on my old, he wanted her to bust out the like cheerleader uniform now that he's ready for it again. He's like, well, now you're getting kind of like older, boring. You've had our kids now. You've changed your style. Now I'm not turned on by that. I want you now back in this goth girlfriend phase, this outfit or whatever. It's just all about their pee-pee. Whatever it is.
Wherever their pee-pee is pointing.
Yeah. That's where they and they expect you to follow. You know what I mean? This this weird like compass to them. And,
it's exactly a compass. That's exactly. That's perfect.
Okay, what's the next one? I'm excited about this next one.
Yeah, so the next trope that you're going to see in movies and TV shows will be the career-driven woman who people see as cold-hearted, not maternal. She's a bitch. And she just needs love in her life. She just needs the right man to come along and soften her up a bit. And she'll eventually stop being a bitch, give up her career, be a stay-at-home wife, have some kids, and they ride off into the sunset together. And it's just like, absolutely fucking not.
Yes.
Oh my God, no.
I hate that.
I always hate when it ends like kids if she didn't want kids. Or, you know, she didn't care about a man being in her life or not. Like, it was cool to have one, but not really. But then she acquiesced to it, and then now the man has completely like
Complete
changed her
control over her.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you're not. You're never going to be happy in the end in situations like that. Whenever you walk away from yourself, because you got to think, when you give up stuff for someone else, you're denying yourself in that moment. You are saying, I don't matter. Fuck me. This person matters. You're literally walking away from you. And I hate when women do that. I always put my 2 cents in like, no, please don't give it up. You're going to regret it because the relationship is going to end up taking a turn in like 2 or 3 years anyway, or 5 years, whatever. And now you've just given up everything for nothing. Like, don't do that. If a man is asking you to give up stuff that matter to you, he is not the man for you. That is how you know. I don't care how you feel about him. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how good the sex is. Doesn't matter. If he's asking you to give things, do not be digmatized. I get it, but don't do it because it's not that serious. If he's asking you to give up things that you worked for, if he's asking you to walk away from something and you're almost done, like Ballerina Farm, he's not the one. He is going to run you ragged. I promise.
He is diabolical. No, seriously, because
he doesn't care about you.
He doesn't think you're important.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He expects you to make yourself smaller while he most likely make himself bigger, more successful, make more money. Then what comes after that? Immediately he's going to become attractive to other women, which he's going to most likely entertain sooner or later.
Yep.
So
that's what it was always about, just so you know.
That's exactly what it was always about.
Because these men view women and stuff and like just moves in life as like chess pieces or like, better yet, like a video game where you can kind of loot somebody for all their loot and then just move on. Like you've leveled up now and their dead body is just back there. You know what I mean? You looted them and now you're on to the next. Like that's literally, in my mind, that's how like 90+% of men think. And that's the patriarchy. I mean, when we talk about, you know, the concept of the patriarchy, that's literally what it is. Like men are like, I'm the main character in a video game. All these other people are just NPCs. And it's this level of narcissism that they're given permission to have. And it, you know, it feels good in the moment because it excuses you from a lot of personal growth. It excuses you from a lot of personal challenge. And it just allows you to kind of grift your way through life using women's labor and using women's proximity to you in order to swing from one monkey branch to the next. You're just swinging from tree to tree. And, you know, first you have your we have terms for this, you know, starter wife, right? Then you have your model wife, you know, you're the young wife, you know, then you have all this family man, career man, like all of these, like we have terms for these things. And when we use them associated with a man, they're good. And when we use them associated with a woman, they're bad. Like career woman, that's bad, you know? Even sometimes, you know, family woman, well, that's associated with like someone doing too much or nagging or, you know, whatever. Like we just have all sorts of, you know, smoke for women where we don't have for men. And that actually leads into the last point, into the last like trope.
Oh, yeah. The woman who's always sacrificing for everyone else. If she puts herself first, she's labeled cold, selfish, and even a failure. Because you put yourself first so you didn't have children. You put yourself first so you didn't get married. You are a failure as a woman if you did not follow the script that patriarchy literally laid out for you before you were even fucking born. Like this is being born a woman, a girl, a female, whatever, automatically have a script. And if you go against that script, you are shaking the table, as they used to say, and you are disrupting the plans that patriarchy had for you. So we have to demonize you. Now we have to call you every name in the book. We have to ostracize you from society. We have to make you feel alone so that hopefully you will acquiesce and come join, come to death row type of situation. You know what I mean? So it's like, but when you stand strong in your child freedom or your career or your stance on not getting married or 4B or whatever it is, then it's like, okay, we don't want our country run by a bunch of childless cat ladies. They have to say this stuff on television to scare other women from daring to make that choice because they need us. They need us 24/7 to be a mommy, a bangmaid, a mommy bangmaid, or a MILF where that mom might like to fuck, right? That's literally what they want from you. And the more women talk about this, being child free, not having kids, whatever, the more they have to demonize us because they don't want other women to. This is the podcast bros and them. They get really upset when people like us have these conversations because they know or think that we have all this influence to make women just follow us. And I'm like,
wish. Yeah.
The women follow us because they already kind of feel the way they've already been through that. Yeah. So that's why, and they're like, wow, there's other women out there like
validation.
Me. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're not
making them do anything.
Unfortunately, we're not changing anybody's mind. I wish we had the power.
We could.
I wish we had the power
like
to do
Thanos.
That. Yes. That is like a very small subset of the population. And like you said, Sovereign, they probably already see it that way. They're just agreeing with us because they were already looking for that like validation. Unfortunately, I love that you keep calling it a script because that's exactly what it is and how it feels. People keep trying to hand it to you. Like I went to a baby shower this weekend and you know what I mean? It was like people I hadn't seen in a while. And this is why I don't go to baby showers, but it was like a person that's very special, very important to me. So I went, there's people there that hadn't seen me in a long time. And like, first question is, well, do you have any kids? And it's like, nope. And thankfully, and you know what? I do think that like things are changing because I will say I received absolutely no pushback. Nope, not a one person said to me, not a one person said, oh, well, you'll change your mind or like whatever. People were like, totally get it. Probably wouldn't do it myself if I could go back in time. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's not what I'm used to hearing.
Things are changing.
And people are pissed that women don't have the social script, which is why I'm kind of like committed to exposing it like in the little things because that's where it lives. It's like it's because you guys realize like nobody says it out loud because it would sound bad, like nobody other than the extremists, like you'd have to go. But it's implied. It's implied that a woman is not really a woman unless she's nurturing and caring and giving and sacrificial and all this stuff. It's implied that, your life starts after you have a kid. That's why like all these conservatives were so excited about Taylor Swift getting married. And they're like, oh, well, I can only hope that now like she's going to be a mom and like have kids and all that. And it's like, yeah. And she still wouldn't be what you want her to be because
I know.
She got married. She will be getting married 5 or 6 years past the age of when you people say that women hit the wall.
Right.
And a famous man that y'all idolize wanted her, mind you. Right. All of this is like still
I have my own thoughts on that.
Kind of like rebuking their well, yeah, I'm sure I agree with those thoughts, but I'm just saying like even if you're just judging this on its face, like according to like conservative standards, it's like, and she still wouldn't be the woman that y'all would idolize because she had an entire career from the ages of like 15, 16 to the age of 24 or 34. So she spent 20 years building a career. And I thought it was funny that even after her engagement or whatever, she announced her album first and then she announced her engagement and like all that. Like, I like that she still is kind of like with that narrative of like, no, like I'm not going to be like domesticated or whatever. And it's like, it's also not bad that like for women to have kids after they have, maybe satisfied some of their like career path, like if she's always wanted kids or if she's always wanted to be married, like that's one thing. But it's just interesting that people are like foaming at the mouth for her to like drop her career and like have kids and like then they're going to be happy. And it's like, oh my God. Okay. Like I guess her 20 years of a music career don't count. I guess her like she's not it just kills me, that people are going to be like, oh yeah, see, she wanted to be a mom all along. Now she's fulfilled. Now she's that. It's like she was in the music industry for 20 years. You don't think if she wanted to like get married and pop out some babies with some Joe Schmo that she couldn't have done that? She could have been. Exactly. People have argued too that she kind of adapts to every man that she dates, and like I think definitely. Women have a tendency of doing that. It's one of the ways that we kind of minimize ourselves, Absolutely. Right? It's like we, when men like someone, they wear their jersey or they listen to their music or they like whatever. So to show this man that I like him, I'm going to get all into his interests. I'm going to get all into like, all this stuff. And it's...
Meanwhile, he hates all of your hobbies and he's not going to do... You know what I mean?
And none of that is going to mean shit to him. Like,
it's not going to mean
all
nothing.
Just going to end up as like ways that you have basically humiliated yourself, for a man. Like, I don't know.
That's the first thing out their mouth. I didn't ask you to do any of that.
Exactly.
I never told you to do.
Exactly. But there is the assumption that you will. And they probably, I don't know. It's like, would they like you less, more? Nobody cares. I just think it's like, I don't care. I don't care if men like you more or less when you stay true to yourself. I don't care if men like you more or less.
Matter.
It shouldn't fucking matter. The right person, the right partner. We're like, I'm like, I feel like it's also almost a red herring too, that we always talk about this in terms of like men and women, like, oh, men this, men that. No. What would a good partner do? Would a good partner be threatened by your success? Once you make it gender neutral, right, it kind of shows. But then when we say, well, men sometimes, it's like, what are they, a child? Why are we making excuses for them like that?
Absolutely.
Well, men like this. Well, they don't like that. It's like, okay, well, toddlers, this one certain toddler likes the plum puree and this other certain toddler likes the pear puree. Like, that's how we talk about toddlers. You know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares what men like or what men don't like? Men don't care what women like. They literally kill us on a daily basis.
I swear.
And they don't care what we like. We like being alive, and men literally don't care about that. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, why are we bending over backwards?
I didn't see that coming.
I always take it too far.
We like to be alive, and they take that from us. So, like, what the fuck? They don't care.
They don't care.
I guarantee you, if a woman pleaded for her life, please don't. You don't have to do this. They're still going to do it. They don't care.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So it's, we can also talk about, music and advertising. I'm not sure if we have the time. So I'm going to head towards like wrapping this up and like kind of how do we shift our perception. And I just really love that you called it a script, that you called it out like for what it is, because it's very much, that society tries to hand you that like when you're a little girl. It's almost like there's like negative consequences for going off the script. And that's how you learn sort of as a woman, like you're just basically bumping up, against like into things and you're like, oh, they don't like that. I should not do that. Oh, they don't like that. I should not do that.
Real quick with the music. Yeah. Because we can't really get too far into it, but I'm just gonna say this,
please.
The music. So, like, if you listen to a lot of love songs, especially like rap songs, R&B, whatever, songs like that, the blues. The theme for every song is either going to be, I want this woman, I'm sexually attracted to this woman, and I'm trying to get her. I have her, but I did her wrong, and I need you to forgive me, right? I need you to come back to me or whatever. Or it's just priming us to expect men's behavior, expect that they're going to cheat or expect that they're going to do this, and you have to take them back. If you're a good woman, if he's begging and pleading and on his knees, then you need to take him back. And that is the number one way that women are subconsciously programmed into believing that the shit that men do is normal. They're always trying to get you, they got you, they did something horrible, and now they're trying to get you back. That's if you listen to most love songs, that's literally the theme. That's one of those three things is the theme of it.
And I want to point out too that that's not just rap and R&B. Like
no,
that's also like white people songs are very much about that. For some reason, we see it more clearly when it comes to like when Black men do it. You know, because it's the same. Like people always talk about how like rap and hip hop is like violent and like misogynistic, and I'm like, y'all should listen to country music. Y'all should listen to like, you know, like the rock of back in the day. Like they were talking about, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Like that was that Johnny Cash or something.
That's
like
awful. Every time
I
hear that, I'm like, that is
like the white men were so creepy about it too. So let's
and they were more
make
they
that
were more like
clear.
out there with it. It was
exactly.
It wasn't,
but it's just like fun. It's like a honky tonk, like good time when white men talk about, you know, and then I beat her and I gave her a black eye and, you know, she looked like she was about to cry and everyone's just line dancing. I'm sorry. It's like that is what it is. Like,
oh my, not the line dancing, but you are so correct.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
It'll be the same shit. It's just like in a fun honky tonk type of way. And people are eating that shit up. So, so I'm just wondering, like, how do you, maybe personally or maybe just like as advice, like, how do we shift that? And of course, once again, we are definitely seeing that shift already, but we're also seeing the pushback against that. Like, we're seeing that, you know, people are going to come out and shame women. They're going to blame women for the birth rates. They're going to blame women for this. So it's like, how do we, you know, especially for like our younger listeners, there's this whole narrative of like, well, you have to keep a man. And if you do this, well, men don't like that. If you do this, how sad is it that we really expect women to walk around life, to move about life with a man watching their every move, right? And then like approving or disapproving. Like that's basically how we set up women's brains to function, right? There's a man there and he's kind of like either his dick is hard when he looks at you or it's soft. And depending on where you're at, right? In that if I'm just trying to put words to the male, like to the patriarchy, the male gaze, all these things, like that's how it feels. It feels like, oh, if I do this, a man somewhere out there is going to be very unhappy. And like, how do I sort of like, what do I do? Because there are, you know what I mean? There's real life situations.
I just did a video about this.
Ooh, yay. Okay. We'll have to link it.
Last week, where I was saying how women are walking around living their life based on a hypothetical husband that may or may not come. And
everybody go watch that video. That's our recommendation. Yes.
And I featured Kat. Kat is featured because her takes are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, we got to have her on the podcast.
I know. But the way that I would say to try to start to get out of that is, first of all, understand that life is short. That you have to start with life is short, because once you realize, me at 40, finna be 41, I'm already past the half point of my life, damn near. Based on the average time that people tend to live in this country in particular. I look at it like I'm not about to spend what time I have left focusing on what a man want. What about what the fuck I want? I want to live my life this way. I want to do these things. I want to go these places. I want to meet these types of people. And I'm not about to wait on a man who may or may not even come. Because I have to tell women this too. That's another lie we've been told. There's somebody out there for everybody. No, the fuck is not.
No.
Like, are you kidding me? And you may be one of the people that find a special someone, or you may not. Either way, you should be living your life. And it's not something that you should make a goal out of. Like, I have a goal to be married. It should just be something that happens while you're out living your life. You just happen to run into the love of your life or whatever. In my opinion, that's how it should happen. It shouldn't be like you're 19 years old and, I got to find a husband and I got to, have kids by this certain age. No, you're going to waste your life. You have to look at it like, if every day that passes by and I'm waiting on this hypothetical man, I am literally wasting time that I'm never going to get back. And you have to start there, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you start there, everything else will make sense. Like, tomorrow isn't promised, and I'm not saying wake up every day. Like, tomorrow's not promised. Oh my God. I'm not saying do that either. But I'm saying just understand that life is short. We're not promised tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to live to be a certain age, whatever. Live your life. You are the main character. Men suffer from main character syndrome. It's about goddamn time that women start suffering from main character syndrome. And you need to start now.
Yes.
Your life is about you. Don't wait until, I'll wait until no. You might not be here. You may not be here while you're, you know what I'm saying?
Even if you picture, like, I like to think of it too as like, try and reverse engineer your life, because that's what like a lot of men do, and you got to give it to them, like that shit works. That's why they have all of these plans, like diabolical plans they don't tell women about, like this, I'm going to marry this girl. Right? She's going to be my starter wife, etc. They know what they're doing. Yes. I'm so sorry. They know what they're doing. So you have to think like that. You have to think, what do I want at the end of my life? When I lay down to die, right? Think, consider you lived your longest, fullest life. When you lay down to close your eyes for that final time, and you think about, what have I accomplished? What have I done? What has been my mark left on this world? What is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? And the legacy, right, doesn't mean for other people to see. Your legacy is yours. Like, because nobody's going to be standing around watching your life flash before your eyes except for you. It's only going to be you. So if you're working out of like a people-pleasing mindset, you're never going to enjoy what you see. A lot of people have regrets on their deathbed, and you have to take that into consideration. Like, what would a life lived with no regrets look like for you? And reverse engineer it from there. And by all means, use men to get there. You know what I mean?
If you have to do exactly
bad.
that. They're using you, whether you want to play that game or not.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's what the patriarchy was built for, just FYI. And so the only way to like fight it is to like, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire.
Absolutely.
But hold up a mirror, because they really hate that. It's like...
And not to be Debbie Downer, just go with me for a second. Most people want to live a long time. So let's say you hope to live to be 97 years old.
We all do,
Here's the thing. If you make it to 97, the vast majority of the people that you know now in your life or your family won't be there. Yeah. Most people are not going to make it there.
Yes,
so you don't want you do not want
yes.
the last moments of your life to be like, all my family is going to be, and what are they going to think about my life? And no, they're most likely not going to survive as long as if you live to be there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to be negative. It's just, that's just a reality in most cases. So you don't want to base your life around what other people think or what other people want.
Never.
What do you want?
Yes.
How do you envision your life now, 5 years from now? We always talk about short-term goals, intermediate goals, long-term goals. Start adding to all three of those categories now. Like, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do next year? What do you want to do? And just start somewhere. Just fucking start.
And by the way, we just taught you how to manifest. You're welcome. You're a baby witch now. Put it to work. Like, literally start writing that shit down. Because I'm telling you, like,
and it works.
I live by that, and it literally works. Like, you can see my notes from like 10 years ago, from 5 years ago, and it really does. It falls into place. Not always the way you think it will. Not always. I'll give you that.
It does. Yes.
Sometimes it's very like, oh, okay, like this just happened. Other times it's like, oh man, it went like this, and then I finally ended up, here. So be detailed, Be detailed, because otherwise, yes, you will sometimes take some winding roads. It's like the more detail you can add into that reverse engineering, the better. And I'm telling you, this is how men plan their life. Like, there is these checkpoints that they have, and you need to get into that mindset, because a lot of women, we were raised with this, like, we are just waiting to be rescued, waiting to be thrown over somebody's shoulder, and they carry us somewhere, and it's like, listen, you can't do that. That's not the way. That is not the way to be your own person. That's not the way to be an individual, and those regrets will come later. The shortcuts you take now, right?
Oh yeah,
it's gonna bite you in the ass later.
Totally agree. And don't underestimate the overwhelmingly positive feeling that you get when you go through your goals list and put that line through because you accomplished it. I don't know what the statistic is. It's like you're 10 times or 5 times or something more likely to accomplish a goal when you write it down and look at it every day.
Oh, yeah.
And when you put that line through, I'm telling you, I live this all the time. You feel so accomplished and so good. Just, you will get addicted to that feeling. And next thing you know, you have knocked out like so many things just because you get addicted to the feeling. It becomes second nature, in other words. So don't underestimate that. It's great.
Because the alternative is you tie yourself to a man, you follow him to the ends of the world. That probably doesn't end well for you. And
you've accomplished nothing.
And so it's like you're always going to be in this like fight or flight. And that's what we're really trying to save women from. And, you know, on that note, we do have to wrap this one up. But like we said, there is a lot to like unpack here, and we'll keep coming back to this discussion. I'm not sure if it's all going to be like all at once or just, you know, thrown in periodically, but it's like we are definitely going back to the basics because we are aware that there is a lot of young women out there that are sort of questioning feminism, questioning like whether it's really the right way or whether it's really the thing that's like ruining society. And so we're basically kind of viewing this as a little bit of outreach as well, because there's a lot of things that young women especially run into, and they don't know that it's the patriarchy. They don't know that it has to do with feminism. They don't know that it has to do with any of these things. They just know they're experiencing it. And so hopefully that's where we come in and sort of break these things down and help you get more perspective around that stuff. Yep. But with that being said, we'll be back to talk more about this, and we'll be right back with therapy or the void. And y'all can help us decide. Welcome back to our brand new segment called Therapy or the Void, where we decide whether fictional characters can be like rehabbed with a little bit of therapy, or whether we are just kicking them straight into the void and like they should have never been, you know what I mean? They're a danger to the people around them, and they should have never been written into a show or TV or whatever. Like if you run across them in real life, kick them into the void, whatever that means. And let's start with, what was yours again? Oh, Sex in the City?
Sex in the City, yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's start with some of the characters. Do we do women or are we just doing men? I was going to do women too, because I do think that women should go to therapy and some women should go to the void. And I don't think we should discriminate too much. Although I will probably go significantly easier on the women, just as a heads up to everybody. Women deal with enough. So
yeah, I agree.
We will be lenient on the women, and then we'll decide who gets I'm just thinking of that lady that's like 10 lashings for you and your Uber driver. That's kind of the energy here. Yeah. Okay. So, Sex in the City characters. Who do we start with? Do we start with the men or the women? Carrie Bradshaw.
I want to send her into the void.
I was going to say, I'm kind of kicking that bitch into the void. She is the most like God helps those who help themselves character in all of like, God was trying to help you. You know what I mean? The universe was sending you every man in the book except for Big. And who do you fucking end up with? This is like the friend that will literally make you rip your fucking hair out at some point. And so I'm like, at that point, into the void. Like, you don't exist to me. You're doing way too much.
The way she did Aiden, like I never forgave her for how she treated Aiden. Because like Aiden was literally the only man in the entire show that actually really liked her, loved her, whatever. And she just couldn't accept it. Like she couldn't, she was so damaged. Herself. Yeah, she was so damaged that she just couldn't even, oh my God. I'm like, Aiden? He was cute. He was fun. He liked you. Like what the? After I knew there was no hope for her after Aiden. I was like, okay, yeah. There's no hope. There's no hope.
And I know, like, it's like some women just have this, as some people, I guess. Like, some people are just very attracted to the toxicity. And so when they are with, like, a safe person, they don't feel safe. Well, it doesn't feel exciting, I guess, is more what it is. Because I think
they don't feel safe either. They don't feel safe to relax and grow and be better, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And I just, like with her and Aiden, it was like, Man, he was like fun. He was very forgiving and like understanding of her, and really showed her that he was like willing to be there for her. And I really think you have to hate yourself, honestly.
I
really
agree.
do. He wasn't perfect. Like, people have pointed out like legitimate like downfalls of his, and like maybe he was like too obsessed with her. Maybe like what was his deal kind of thing, that he kind of had the low self-esteem of like he was like, you know, coming like crawling back to her and stuff like that. But it's like, man, I don't know. Like, maybe he was just really into her. Like,
yeah, he was. I mean, because then she would have been crying if he didn't show enough, you know, all the other men who didn't show enough time and energy, and that he was so into her. So it's like...
No, exactly. Exactly. I would send Aiden to therapy.
I would send Aiden to therapy.
He needs therapy. Like, you got to figure out how to spot a baddie who's going to like also be into what you're into, you know, because I just feel so bad. And she always kept him on like within an arm's reach, you know, like, and the way she did him with like the whole Big thing, like, oh yeah, let Big come up to the cabin and like whatever. It just got weird,
she
man.
Just wanted to self-sabotage that relationship.
She really did. And that's why she's going into the void. Okay. So we don't have to do like all the characters either, because Samantha, neither. She's put her up on the pedestal. Write a book about her.
Perfect.
That's, you know, so we're not going to do everybody, but who's another worthy? Okay. Miranda and Steve. I got to know. Cause to me,
Miranda,
listen, therapy. Steve though, that man's got to go. No, he's gotta go into the void. I hate that man. I hate him so much. He was so passive and such a moocher, and I don't know, like the way that he.
You don't think he turned out to be just good for her though? That's what she settled for. But that's what she settled for. That's literally who she has so much more promise, and she settled for him. And I mean, well, I take that back. I would have preferred if she settled for Blair Underwood's character.
Yes.
I liked them together. I don't know why.
All of us would have.
Yeah.
All of us would have liked that very much.
She let him go, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's like it's let him
self-sabotage.
Go for what's his name? Carl?
Steve.
You let him go for Steve? Like
a jobless bartender.
I was really mad about that one.
Nothing wrong with being a bartender, but
I'm mad that she fumbled.
Yes, she didn't know what was good for her, and I think she wanted like the safe thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and she didn't want to like, I don't know, and I kind of get that, because you know, as a career woman and like as a lawyer and all of these things, it's like there's so much pressure on you already that you're like, man, I gotta impress a man at the end of all this. But it's like Steve drove her fucking crazy. She hated that man. She was always yelling at him or something. Like, she was always fucking mad at him. I think
because it was almost like
I don't think she ever respected him as a person.
So why choose a person? Why settle for somebody that you just don't respect?
That's the question.
Men do it all the time, but a woman doing it? Like, I don't get it.
That's my question too. That was my question for her. And I think it's because, I really do. I think it's because like a man of her own caliber, she would have always probably felt some kind of competition. Yeah. Or like, you know, just felt like she was always like too much. Whereas this guy needs her. So it's kind of like, you know, she wanted maybe that power dynamic of like, I don't need you, but you need me. And like,
probably. You know what? Did she mention something similar to that before?
Maybe.
I feel like she might have, but I could be wrong.
See, because I stand by that, because I think he goes straight into the void. It was the condom in the diaper bag that got me. How are you going to bring my child back to me and a condom is going to fall out of the child's diaper bag? I'm going to jail. One of us is going to jail. If I call the police on you and they don't do anything about that, I'm going to jail, because I'm going to do something. Like, why the fuck? You know what I mean? And then he would be mad at her for like the dumbest shit. He had such a big ego and such an insecurity like complex that I don't think he would be fixed by therapy. I think he's like manipulative. And I think he uses the poor me, like, well, I'm just a nice guy. I'm so nice, and I just never know what I'm doing. Shut the fuck up. You're a grown man. Figure it out.
You know what? Oh God, it's sad to admit this. I think my own bar was so low for him, because it was like, Well, at least he takes his kid because I'm so used to
Yes.
guys not taking their kids.
No, I'm
so
telling you.
maybe that's why I thought he was worth saving. I don't know.
I watched.
But now the way you put it, I'm like, nah, maybe he was just.
He was a
That's
lost
the bare
cause,
minimum.
Dude. He
Taking care of
never
your kid
stopped
is the bare
being
minimum.
a loser.
Yeah,
like
he
was a loser through
all
and
the way
through
to the
at
end.
heart. And you know, I
that's
get that because I only watched Sex and the City like last year, so I watched it with a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, like this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like all the men that they were trying to hook up these women with were like diabolical,
It's
which is part of the
trash.
show, which
Yeah.
I love. Like that's why I love talking about this, because it's like there's no real life consequences.
I
These are
know.
all characters,
I
but
know.
they were written as character. Like they were written. There's archetypes for those things, and I think it's interesting that like the show was written by gay men, right? And I feel like they always
Gay men
kinda,
write the best shows.
I know, like
They
with Desperate
really do.
Housewives too. It's like
Yes.
they
Yeah.
really nailed
Mark
it on the
Cherry.
like archetypes, you know, of men, like the insecure
They
man,
did.
the big finance guy that's afraid of
Yes.
commitment, like all that. It's like, man,
They hit it.
they really hit it on the nose. Well, speaking of finance guy, who's not into commitment,
I was just gonna ask you. What do you
big.
think about therapy?
Is that
Only
because you think he's hot?
I
think
do.
you want him for yourself. You want him to go to therapy, and you want him
I
to come
do.
out a changed man so you could swoop him up.
You remember what I told you when we talked
I
about this a
do.
while ago? I would have had so much fun with him because I wouldn't have taken him seriously. I think that was Carrie's number one mistake. She took him seriously, but Mr. Big was the type of man that will take you places, do things. You could literally get him to give you $30K to save your apartment. Like, what more do you need? You don't need to be married to him. You don't need to have any kids with him. You can just have fun. Like,
And you know what? I actually do stand with you on that take.
And I always thought he was cute. Like, I just always thought.
I do think it's biased by that. But you know what? I actually do think that you have a point with that whole, like, she could have had fun with him thing.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that she was always like.
He would have been he's the perfect sugar daddy. He will give you whatever you want. You are attracted to him. I never heard her complain about the sex. So it sounds like the sex was incredible. What more do you need? Like, why are you complaining?
She wanted that commitment. She wanted that.
But you
like,
can't get a commitment from a man like that. Like, you just
But another woman did.
Honest, here's the thing.
But Natasha did.
But I was just finna say, but she didn't though, because
No,
he
she
cheated,
didn't.
and their
cheat.
marriage didn't last.
Yeah.
So you can't really like. He's not the guy for any of that.
Okay, and here's the other like kind of nuanced take on that is I do think he should go to therapy and deal with his mommy issues, because then I don't think either Carrie or Natasha would have been a problem in his life at all.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
because
agree.
he married Natasha because she was the kind of girl that his mom would approve of, but he always wanted to fuck with Carrie because it's the kind of girl that his mom would not approve of. And it's like, you're basing your life off of your mom.
Right.
You should go to therapy.
Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't put him in the void
totally
because
agree.
I think he was miserable that
saved.
whole time. He lives in a void. You know what I mean? He lives in the void of his mother's love. That's the void. Like, I can't send you to no void because you already live in one. Your life is already a nightmare because your penis is following your mom's like, you know what I mean? Like, the compass is broken. It's like responding to what your mom would or wouldn't like. Like, ew,
Perfect.
you need to go to therapy. And then when you come out, let's talk.
Then
Because
we
you
can
might
see,
be attracted to like a whole different type of woman. And it's like, yeah, just even him like, you know, like going out with models and stuff, like having sex with models. It's like, man, like you are
I still couldn't get over the fact that he was willing to give her $30K.
I know.
Just take it. Like, you just got money like that.
Yep.
You really don't owe him anything. Y'all were already fucking. You're already like having fun or whatever. You really don't like to. He wasn't gonna commit, which is to me the best possible situation. Like, a man who's not gonna be stalking you. Well, he did kind of stalk her a little bit, but not in a dangerous way. He's not gonna be bothering you. You don't have to worry about him asking you to marry him. Don't have to worry about him asking for children. Like, that is the perfect listen. in real life, I would have dated Mr. Big for sure.
There's a lot of women out there that are living that smart life and they're not bragging about it. They're not, whatever. And they're just
keep it under wraps.
Keep it under wraps. As you can. Yeah,
exactly. I wouldn't tell anybody shit. You don't need to know nothing. I'm having fun. I'm getting exactly what I want.
She was just way too invested.
She was. The way she was just showing up, I was the void. That alone sends her to the void because she was so fucking desperate, and that's so annoying to me.
And it's to me, it's kind of like there's a generation of women that was idolizing Carrie Bradshaw, and for that alone, you're going to the void because it's how
they were looking at her life. They wasn't looking at how they paid attention to her outside and not her inside.
You know what would make Sex and the City the perfect show?
What?
Is if it was told from Samantha Jones' perspective.
What if they did that? I don't think she would be interested, but that would have been perfect. Because she was my favorite character from day one.
And she would have clocked Carrie. You know what I mean? Her inner monologue had Carrie clocked the whole time.
Yeah,
her outer monologue, right? She was why are you so fucking, but what I like about her is that she wouldn't overinvest in anything. You know, her friends, it's okay, you do you. I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll say my piece, but I'm not really. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm off doing my own thing. She was just such a good, example. I feel if we could have her inner monologue, and I think that's the shoes that the men who were writing the show, they wrote her the closest to how they think and how they operate. And I think that would have been valuable because a lot of people kind of miss the point of Carrie Bradshaw being the main character because they idolized it. They pedestaled it. They rooted for her and Big. And it's just that. I don't think that was ever the point.
It wasn't. Samantha was the point.
Exactly. But
Samantha was literally the point.
And I'm just saying she was everything all along. That's
because if you really think about it, she was the one having the most sex. Sex in the city.
That's what I'm saying.
She was the one it was, I don't know.
I know. And Carrie was literally,
Carrie was too. She was second to me. She was second to Samantha. And then not Miranda. What did you think about Miranda? Not Miranda. The other Charlotte.
Therapy. You got to go to therapy.
Yeah. She was so hung up on. She was actually, I would say, I would put her in second. She was my second favorite. Just because she knew what she wanted.
Yes.
And even though she was a little clingy and desperate, she never lost sight of what she wanted either. And even when she did, she reeled herself back in, put herself back out there. She was still... I didn't like that she was willing to give up her gallery and stuff. I didn't like that.
That's the part that I would send her to therapy for.
Yeah.
It's exactly. I respect her knowing what she wants, but I question marriage and children just being what every woman should want. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
Let's just see if that happens, let's see if you can pursue your goals and that still happen for you, because she did have to do a lot of even the guy that she ended up marrying and people were he was kind of
Trey
her, not Trey, the second guy. I still think she bent over way too backwards for him, for her to do all this stuff to become Jewish and whatever. And he's trying to watch TV while she's got this whole thing. It wasn't even important to him, girl. Why are you going out of your way? The man could not give a shit less. He's mouth full watching the game.
That women do in relationships.
Exactly.
To acquiesce to or try to fit
into. And that's why I would send her to therapy, because she minimized herself with every man, she would kind of become that girl that he was
Trey
looking for.
Me off. Oh, I hated Trey. You know what's funny?
He was the worst. He was
I liked him for Brie Vandekamp. In the very
they
beginning.
matched each other's
in
freak.
The very beginning.
I said that right away. I said that man matches her freak, and I will be very upset if this doesn't work out, because this could be a great relation. They could have shown a very, because for a man, he was very invested. I like that. He was what's this? What's that? Can I get involved? Can I do this? Can I do that? And then in the end, they just made him really controlling, which I guess is
you gotta watch it to the end to see what he does.
Okay,
to get revenge.
I will.
You must.
I'm scared. But I was they really match each other's freak, and it's kind of almost the same character as he was in Sex and the City, but just a
little bit more prudish.
A little bit more.
He was a little bit more I don't know. He pissed me off. His character pissed me off.
In Sex and the City,
In Sex
like
and the City.
absolutely diabolical. Like he's definitely like some kind of version of closeted or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he
That's the
was
vibe I
definitely
got
not
it.
into
Yeah.
her. He is another man whose penis follows his mom.
He
you
just
know?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He used her beauty and the way she looked to make himself look good. And
Yes.
that was it.
He was not invested in her
Not
happiness
at
or
all.
anything like that.
What about Samantha's boyfriend?
Oh,
the
Jared?
One, yeah, the one that stuck by her side through everything. The young kid. I call him a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about him?
A therapy. I definitely wouldn't send him to the void. He seems very sweet.
Yeah.
I do think he probably also had mommy issues.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm seeing that as a recurring theme. Because he was so eager to please, you know? It's kind of like, I'm not saying that men can't be attracted to older women without it being mommy issues. Like, no. I'm just saying the way he acted towards her was very mommy oriented. He was doing a bit too much.
But I liked it for her, though.
I did too.
For her, I liked it.
I did
but
too.
I didn't necessarily like it for him because, dude, you got to go to therapy. You got to go to
therapy. You got to deal with those mommy issues for sure.
I like what she did for him. And even after what she did for his career, he still stuck by her side.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. And I love too that she was like the one to end it. Like I loved that whole arc where she was like, I'm just losing me. Like I love you, but I love me more. And I was like, I love this.
I know.
And that's why I'm sad she wasn't the main character, because I think her storyline is like easier to dismiss, you know, because it's like, well,
you know, they had a feud back in the day when once Carrie became the either producer or executive producer, she started like trying to write Samantha out of stuff, and she was like kind of pushing her to the background. And I remember they got into it over that because the fans actually, Samantha was a fan favorite. Like people watched it because of Samantha.
Should be. Yes.
And you know, Carrie Bradshaw, like she was not that attractive, not really shouldn't be the main character, and she started feeling that. And so she started like trying to.
Isn't it funny? It's just like real life.
Yeah.
A pick-me will always be threatened by a woman who
I watched that show for Samantha. I watched it for all of them, but like Samantha was my favorite.
No, it's Samantha. It's always been Samantha. Always will be Samantha.
That's why whatever they got going on now, I don't even want to watch it because she's not on it. Like I'm good.
I was not even tempted because like they're all. Oh, it's a show about 3 unhappily married women. Like okay,
wait,
who
they're
wants
all married?
to watch that?
Okay.
Yes, Carrie's married to Big. Charlotte's still married to
he finally
what's his
married her?
face?
Because I can't remember. I know on the first Sex and the City movie, he left her at the altar, right? The second one, didn't he leave her again? Didn't he leave her a couple times?
Oh God.
Or maybe I'm thinking about the show.
I think it was the second movie he suggested that they live separate or something like that. Like he was never into her like that. Never into her like that.
She was just like a maybe. If I don't find what I really want, then I'll settle for you.
And he eventually did. And they had their little courthouse wedding or whatever. And it was like, no big deal.
She was supposed to just have fun with him. I'm going to die on that hill.
No, and seriously, it's like, and then I think Miranda's like back with Steve. And I was like, I'm not watching this shit. Stop. I don't care. Samantha would have been the only one like worth watching it for. And
I agree. And she's not on there.
It's weird that she's not there. And yeah, I just think it's like a real life thing.
She said that she didn't like the direction. She didn't like the character that they were writing for her. So she said she didn't want to do it. Like wherever the character was leading, she didn't want to be a part of it.
And I don't blame her.
They was probably going to like dull her shine in some way. You know, and she probably was like, nah, fuck that shit. And I don't blame her. And I'm glad she did.
Love you, Kim Cattrall. Like,
I
seriously.
really do like her in real life.
I really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, that's been our Therapy in the Void segment on Sex and the City. So next time we will give y'all some voting options, and I will secretly be hoping that you all choose Shrek because I did rewatch that movie in anticipation that we might have time to do more than one.
It would be interesting for me to watch it as an adult because I have not seen it since I was like
and I would be very curious.
Very young.
Yes, I would. Same. And I would be curious to hear your thoughts because I was like, oh, this is like harmless. This is just like a fun little like kids film.
That's what I thought too.
No, it's concern. It was
Wow.
weird. A lot of it was
Now I gotta
very,
watch it for
very
sure.
weird. Like my husband and I kept looking at each other like, this was a children's film? Like, what were they?
But
And
was it a children's film? Doom, doom, doom.
And we'll find out next time on Therapy or the Void. All right, let's read off our poll results and then we'll wrap up the show. And if y'all are subscribed to our Patreon or our YouTube community, then we will see you later on in the Crumpet segment where we are doing a fuck, marry, kill. Couple rounds of that. So I'm excited. We have some interesting characters we're gonna
fuck, marry, or kill.
Oh my God. It truly is the Audacity After Dark. All right. So, what is the most embarrassing thing about Passport Bros? We asked this on 3 different polls, as y'all know, our Patreon, our Spotify, and our YouTube. And let's see. Yep. One answer usually wins out on all 3. So let's see what Sovereign thinks it might have been. So A was the most embarrassing thing about Passport Bros is they can't handle women at home. So they run crying overseas for easier options. Wah. Number 2 is they need exploitable women to feel powerful because equality is too much for them. C is they mistake exploitation for love. She's using him but she's actually using him for resources and will leave as soon as she can. That'd be pretty embarrassing. And it does happen. Or D, they confuse domination with desirability, proving the opposite every time.
I would go with C.
Oh.
Well,
I would also go with C, but the one that won out is B. They need exploitable women to feel powerful because equality is too much for them.
I don't see that as an embarrassing thing. It is embarrassing. But
it's embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. But the other one where they really think that
I know. They really think yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's so embarrassing.
You come to a country knowing damn well women are like disadvantaged there and that's what's gonna draw them. Yeah, that's what's gonna draw them to you and you think that's gonna make you more powerful. But in reality it's like
they're literally
playing you. And that's why they were giving that fucked up advice, you know, that like, don't bring her back. Don't bring your third world girl back to a first world country.
Know. That's so sad.
It's so fucking sad. It's really sad. But it's embarrassing too. So, yes. Our recommendation for this week is Sovereign's video on the women that go through life thinking of their future husband. That basically sums up the entire
Stop waiting on a hypothetical husband is the name of the
Yes. And we'll put the link in to the description for y'all. There's also, I will definitely give more book recommendations as well. But so please check out the recommendations. And if you are sticking around, then we will see you in the Crumpet segment. Bye. We'll see y'all next week.